Statistics show that black women who marry white men have 40% less of a chance ending their marriages in divorce. It's pretty amazing, right? So let me tell you my story. So some time ago, I was dating a young lady, and the idea of the date was to eventually lead it into marriage. But there was just some things that were going on that made me suspicious. But I did my part. My part was I provided for her, but I always noticed that she never used my name. And that used to make me concerned. So I brought it up. She would always say things like, because you're my baby, you're my darling, you're my love, my dear. And I was like, well, but you never say my name. It's okay. I know who you are. Still didn't say my name. Didn't think much of it, left it alone. Time goes on. She looks at my page on social media. I look at her pages on social media as well. And I noticed that there was this guy who always was showing interest in her, and she would make very subtle comments. So I asked her about this guy. And this is like a year into the relationship. And she always denied his existence. Oh, he's nothing. He's nobody, whatever. But I noticed that she would also make comments on his page. Then I asked her, I says, well, why aren't you married? I said, I never asked that question of you. So I asked her one day, why was she not married? She says, well, I was dating a guy. I said, what was the longest relationship you had? She told me it was for about 3 years. And she told me she was dating this guy and he wasn't really a perfect fit for her. So she moved on. But she would never talk about past relationships, which I thought was weird because she wanted to know about mine, and I would share my past relationship stories with her. But again, she never wanted to share hers with me. And it was almost like pulling teeth. So the relationship goes on and, we get a little closer, and I found out there's some needs that she had. So I furnished the house. I bought beds. I bought living room, dining room sets. I bought a computer for the house. And while she's there, she also has her 2 sisters and her brother living with her. And I would always ask her, it seems like I'm paying for everything. Are they contributing anything towards the rent? Because I'm paying the rent too. And in her community where she lives, they pay rent once a year. So I would pay the rent for 1 year, 1 whole year. And I did this for several years. However, unfortunately, in one of those years, her dad died. So I didn't pay the whole funeral expense at this particular case. The family was involved, but I did contribute to what they needed to get the rest of the money. So the family got involved, didn't have enough. So I gave them the balance of what they needed. She was able to bury her dad. Not even a complete year later, about 10 months later, her mother dies. And I paid the entire bill for the funeral. But she always act like to her friends, and we share some of the same friends. And I never called her out. But she always act like she was still doing this dentistry thing. But she had lost her job like maybe 4 months into our relationship. So from the beginning of the relationship, the 2 years, I basically took complete good care of her. And she would say things about how much money she would get, but she never earned any money. She was always given money. So eventually things just became questionable. Even with my friends, I would show them some videos that she would share with me. And they were like, she's acting. She's not real. And one of my friends comes from television music industry. So his opinion is very valuable. And it really disturbed me when he said she's acting. This is not real. Nothing could have been more correct than the statement he made, because I always wanted to know what was her age. She would never tell me her age. Well, she told me her age. She gave me a number, and I later found out that she was a lot younger than the number she had given me. And I guess lying is a part of her personal culture because she lied about a lot of things. It's so crazy because one day I sent her flowers and she says, oh, you should have sent money. What woman says this? Red flags, foolishness on my part. But I know there are other men in predicaments just the same. So I'm telling you, listen, we have intuition too. We often hear about women and female intuition, but guess what, guys? We have intuitions too. My intuitions were telling me, get out of this relationship. This ends only the first part of our video and my story. I hope my story is proving to be beneficial to some of y'all. And again, we would like to thank you for watching our video. To see the complete video, just click right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Remember this: